Welcome back. Let's start with this example. We want to find the particular solution to this integral, the integral of 2 times the square root of x dx, given this initial condition that when our solution is evaluated at 4, it is equal to 12. And so let's start by finding the general solution of this integral. And so the first thing I'm going to want to do is rewrite our integral and change this square root of x to x to the 1/2 power. So we'll rewrite that this is equal to the integral of 2 times x to the 1/2 power dx. And now we can go through with our integration process. We'll have that this is equal to 2, and then we're going to use the power rule for integration. So we're going to have x to the power of 1/2 plus 1 divided by 1/2 plus 1. And then we need to remember to add plus c. So if we simplify this, we'll have that this is equal to 2 times x to the 3/2 power, right? 1 plus 1/2 is equal to 3/2, and that will be divided by 3/2. And then we still have plus c. And so then remember, when you divide by a fraction, that would be the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of that fraction. And so if we were to multiply this by the reciprocal of 3/2, then we can simplify this one more time, and we'll have that this is equal to 2 times 2/3 times x to the 3/2 power plus c. Right, the reciprocal of 3/2 is 2/3, so we multiply that by our term here. And so now we can simplify one more time, and we'll have that this is equal to 4/3 times x to the 3/2 power plus c. And so this is going to be our function y that we are looking for in this case. This is the general solution, or the function whose derivative is 2 times the square root of x. That is what we found here. But now we want to find a particular solution by solving for this value of c using this initial condition. So we see that when we plug 4 into this function, it should be equal to 12. You can also think of it as this function needs to pass through the point 4, 12, right? That is what this means right here, that when our function is at x equals 4, the y value is 12. And so if we set our function equal to 12, we'll have 12 equals 4/3, and we'll plug in 4, so we'll have 4 to the 3/2 power plus c. And now we want to solve for c. And so what is 4 to the 3/2 power? That seems like it's going to be a little tricky to do. Well, we can rewrite that to be the square root of 4 cubed. Right, this is the same thing as taking 4 to the 3/2 power. We are cubing that value of x and then taking the square root of it. And so if we were to simplify, we'll have that 12 is equal to 4/3. And then what is 4 cubed? Well, 4 times 4 is 16, and then 16 times 4 is 64. And so we'll have the square root of 64, which we know is 8, and so I'm going to rewrite that to be 8. So we have this multiplied by 8 plus c. And so then this right here, we'd have 4 times 8 divided by 3, so that would be 32/3. So I'll rewrite that, and we'll have 32/3. And so if we solve for c, we'll have to subtract 32/3 from both sides of the equation, so we'll be subtracting 32/3 from 12. And if you rewrite 12 in terms of thirds, that would be equal to 36 divided by 3, right? 12 times 3 is 36, so 36 divided by 3 would be 12. So this is the same thing. And so if you were to subtract 32/3 from that, that would be equal to c, and so then you'd be left with 4/3, right? 36 minus 32 is 4 divided by 3. And so now we found that c is equal to 4/3. And so now we can take this value of c we found and plug it back into that general solution we found to find our particular solution. And so in this case, that will be y is equal to 4/3 x to the 3/2 power plus 4/3, right? That is our value of c. And so this is our final answer, or the particular solution to our integral given this initial condition. Let's look at another example. All right, so for our next example, we have this integral, and we want to find the particular solution that passes through the point 6, 5. And so that is the same as saying that our solution y evaluated at 6 will be equal to 5. Right, and so these are two different ways of giving the same initial condition. And so now let's go through and solve this integral. Let's find our general solution first. And so if we go through the integration process, we'll have that this is equal to 1/2 times x to the power of 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 minus x, right? So we used the power rule of integration on this term. So we added 1 to our exponent, so we have 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1. And then anytime you have the integral of a constant like -1, you just multiply it by x. And so -1 times x is -x. And then of course, don't forget your plus c. All right, so if we simplify, we'll have that this is equal to 1/2 times x squared divided by 2 minus x plus c, and that will be equal to x squared divided by 4 minus x plus c. And so this is our general solution y, and now we can use our initial condition to solve for our value of c and find our particular solution. So we see that if we plug 6 into this function, it should be equal to 5. And so we'll set our function equal to 5, and then we'll have that this is equal to 6 squared divided by 4 minus 6 plus c. Right, we plugged 6 into each x and set it equal to 5. And so now if we solve for c in this case, we'll have 5 is equal to 36 divided by 4 minus 6 plus c. And we know that 36 divided by 4 is equal to 9. And so we'll have that 5 is equal to 9 minus 6 plus c. And so 9 minus 6 is 3. And so then if we subtract 3 from both sides, we'll have that c is equal to 2. And so if we plug this value of c into our c in our general solution, we'll find our particular solution that y is equal to x squared divided by 4 minus x plus 2. This will be our particular solution, or our final answer to this problem. Let's look at a different example. All right, so for our next example, we have that g prime of x, or the derivative of g of x, is equal to 6x minus 8x cubed. And then we have this initial condition that our original function g of x evaluated at 2 is equal to 3. And of course, we want to find our original function g of x. And so this one might be a little confusing at first because we don't see an integral. So what are we doing in this case? Well, we need to remember what the integral represents. When you are taking the integral of a function, you are trying to find a function whose derivative is that function in the integral. So what I mean by that is when you have the integral of a function like 2x dx, that's going to be equal to x squared plus c, and the derivative of this function would be 2x, right? You multiply 2 down and subtract 1 from your exponent, you'd have 2x. And so what we find here is that when you take the integral of a derivative of some function, you find that function. That's what we're doing when we do an integral. And so in this case, if we want to find g of x, all we have to do is take the integral of its derivative. And then of course we can use our initial condition here to find our particular solution for g of x. And so we're going to have that g of x is going to be equal to the integral of g prime of x, which is 6x minus 8x cubed, and then dx. And so now if we solve this integral, we try to find our general solution first. This will be equal to the integral of each of our terms here. And so we're going to need to use the power rule for integration for these two terms. So we're going to have 6 multiplied by x to the power of 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 minus 8 times x to the power of 3 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 1. And then, of course, don't forget your plus c, right? So we added 1 to our exponents, right? This was 1, so we added 1 to 1. And this one was 3, so we added 1 to 3. And then we divided each of those terms by that new exponent. And so if we simplify this, we'll have this is equal to 6 times x squared divided by 2 minus 8 times x to the 4th power divided by 4, and then plus c. And so 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we can simplify this again to have that this is equal to 3x squared minus 2x to the 4th power plus c. And so this would be our general solution to this integral. But we're not done yet because we need to use this initial condition here to find the specific function g of x, our particular solution. So although this is equal to g of x, this is not a particular solution because we do not know what c is equal to yet. But we can find that. And so we know that when we plug 2 into this function, it should be equal to 3. And so we'll set that up. We'll have that 3 is going to be equal to 3 times 2 squared minus 2 times 2 to the 4th plus c, right? We just plugged 2 into this function and then set it equal to 3. And so now if we simplify this and try to solve for c, we'll have that 3 is equal to 3 times 4, because 2 squared is 4, minus 2 times 2 to the 4th power. So 2 squared is 4, and so then 2 times 4 would be 8, so that would be 2 cubed, and then 8 times 2 would be 16, and that would be 2 to the 4th power. So we're going to be multiplying by 16, and then we'll add c, and then we'll have that 3 is equal to 12 minus 32 plus c, and that 3 is equal to negative 20 plus c, right? 12 minus 32 is negative 20, and so then if we add 20 to both sides of the equation, we will have that c is equal to 23. 3. And so that means that if we replace this c with this value of c, we now have our particular solution for g of x. So g of x will be equal to 3x squared minus 2x to the fourth power plus 23. And that is our answer to this problem. We found the particular solution of g of x given its derivative and this initial condition. Let's look at one more example. All right, so for our last example, we're going to be building off the concept that we worked with in the previous example. And so this time we have the second derivative of f of x, or f double prime of x, is equal to x squared. The first derivative evaluated at 0 is equal to 6, and the original function evaluated at 0 is equal to 3. And we want to find that original function, f of x. And so this is a little bit more complicated than our previous example because last time we were only given the first derivative, not the second derivative. And so you have to think about what the second derivative represents in this scenario. If we found the original function by integrating the first derivative, which we don't have in this case, you notice we just have the initial condition, but if we want to find the first derivative, then we would have to integrate the second derivative, right? Because if you remember when you would take the derivative of a function, if you wanted to find the second derivative of a function, you would have to take the derivative of the original function 2 times. You would take the derivative of this function 1 time to find the first derivative, and then you would take the derivative of that first derivative to find the second derivative. And so if you're going to reverse that process by integration, you need to integrate your second derivative to get the first derivative, and then you need to integrate the first derivative to get your original function. And so that's what we're going to do here. And so thankfully, we also have these initial conditions that are going to allow us to find the particular solutions for our first derivative and our original function. And so let's start by finding f prime of x by taking the integral of f double prime, or our second derivative, which is equal to x squared. So we'll have x squared dx. And so if we solve this integral, we'll have that this is equal to x to the power of 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1 plus c. And so if we simplify that, this will be equal to x to the third power divided by 3 plus c. And so this is f prime of x, or our first derivative, at least the general solution of that derivative. And now we can find the particular solution by using this initial condition up here that when we plug 0 into this derivative, it will be equal to 6. And so if we follow that, we'll have that 6 is equal to 0 cubed divided by 3 plus c. And so then 0 cubed is 0, and then divided by 3 is still 0, and so then we find that c is equal to 6 in this case. And so if we replace c with 6 in our first derivative here, we will have that f prime of x is equal to x to the third power divided by 3 plus 6. And so now we have successfully found the particular solution for our first derivative. And so now before we move on in taking the integral of our first derivative to find the original function, I want to make a note of something that you're going to want to do when you do your work for a problem like this. When you are taking two integrals and you are finding two separate particular solutions, you're going to be getting two different values of c, right? We're going to have a value of c for our first derivative, and then we're going to have a value of c for our original function. And so we don't want to get those two values of c mixed up. So what you want to do is when you go through your work here, you want to label these c's with a subscript of 1 for the first time you find c, and then when you go to take your integral of your derivative to find f of x, we're going to label that c with a subscript of 2. So that helps us differentiate which value of c goes where, right? c1 is going to be with our derivative, and c2 will be with our function. And so if we clean up our work here, we can now take the integral of the first derivative and find our original function. And so we'll have that f of x is equal to the integral of x cubed divided by 3 plus 6 times dx. And then if we solve this integral, this will be equal to 1/3 times x to the power of 3 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 1. Right, all I did was pull out this multiple of 1/3 and then focused on the integral of x cubed. So I took this 1/3 outside and then used the power rule on x cubed. And then the integral of positive 6 will just be plus 6x, right? The integral of a constant is just that constant multiplied by x. And then we're going to have plus c sub 2, right? I don't have my other c on the screen anymore. I erased it so I would have some space to work. But when you're doing your own work, make sure you add those subscripts because you're going to be able to see both of your values of c at the same time, and you do not want to mix them up. And so if we simplify this, we'll have that this is equal to 1/3 times x to the fourth power divided by 4 plus 6x plus c sub 2. And so then this will simplify to f of x is equal to x to the fourth power divided by 12 plus 6x plus c sub 2. Right, we just multiplied 3 times 4 in the denominator here, so we have 12, and then we just rewrote the rest of our terms. And so now we have our general solution. But to find the particular solution, we're going to use this initial condition to help us find the value of c sub 2. And so we see that if we plug 0 into our function, it will be equal to 3. And so we'll have that 3 is equal to 0 to the fourth power divided by 12 plus 6 times 0 plus c sub 2. And so once again, this is going to be equal to 0 because 0 to the fourth power is 0. So 0 divided by 12 is 0. And then 6 times 0 is 0. So we have 0 plus c sub 2. So we're just left with c sub 2 equals 3. And so that is our value of c. And so now we have that our particular solution for f of x is equal to x to the fourth power divided by 12 plus 6x plus 3. That is our final solution to this problem. All right, and so that was the last example for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. But if you don't have any questions, this is all I had for now. So I will see you next time.